I was talking to Denise. There have been a lot of people who have written in, and I've been going through some things too, where I've been going through some toxic relationships within my family, having some toxic, things with, I don't want to name who it is, but they'll know it if they see this video. And it's like, you've been there so much for your family, you tried to help them, you've given encouraging words and all this kind of stuff, but it seems like when you look on the other end, it seems like they don't want you to win, like they're not there for you. And sometimes for me, and I know you all have written in too, it seems like your family is against you and they want you to fail, or they're pulling you down. And my thing to you is, what do people do when they're in that situation? When you're there to help, you're always the one they call, you're the one that's there for moral support. What do you do in a situation like that?
You stop.
You stop.
You stop. And you stop and you smell the coffee, the roses, or whatever it is that's brewing, to take care of yourself. Because if you keep letting people pull from you and take from you, and they're not depositing anything into you, you're gonna have nothing left. And you cannot pour from an empty cup. Some people, they don't want the help, they want the attention that comes with them. Always saying they're hurting. They want your attention. They don't want your help because they don't want to get better, because becoming better requires less attention. Becoming better requires them to go out and stand on their own. So sometimes they don't even want the help, they just want the attention. And you need to know the difference between the two when it comes to your family members.
Exactly. I agree with that. And there have been issues in my family where we've had, the matriarch and, some other people who have taken the load, so to speak. They've taken responsibility for people who couldn't raise, I know that's probably God telling me not to say it or something.
Raise their kids.
Raise their kids. So grandma can't live her life. Auntie them can't live their life. Uncles them can't live their life because they not only had to take care of you, now they got to take care of your kids because you forget about everybody else's life, including your kids.
You got the audacity to keep the food stamps from grandma. Grandma raising the kids, but when you get your stamps or your check, you don't even give her nothing.
Yes.
Nothing? You claiming every child on your taxes and you don't give grandma nothing?
Nothing. Grandma don't get nothing. The people don't. And see, one thing about DCF, and I work for DCF, they gonna make sure that they get a handle all of that when you go into DCF. You're not gonna take no food stamps, no Social Security, nothing. That goes all. And see, I know a lot of times, I've been where people say, well, I'm gonna still try to look out for the mama or the daddy or whoever if they getting stamps or something like that. But if they're not giving that to their kids, and I've had cases where a father, may have had a record or something, but he's taking care of his kids, and the SSI or the food stamp's supposed to go to him. And because he doesn't want it to go back to court, he lets the mother keep all the SSI. He let her keep the food stamps and stuff like that. And this is what people are doing to their children. And so when you grow up with a mama like this, and a mama who's always had you in and out the system, who's chosen people over you, when you become an adult, people say, oh, that's your mama. Honor and respect your mama. You gotta forgive her. The Lord wants you to forgive your mama. But if your mama kept you in and out the system, if your mama left you in many places because she was always chasing behind men, or your dad too, and they left you with family members who abused you, and it's like you become an adult, you still remember that, and it's like all this stuff about, oh, you gotta just forgive them and forget about it. You don't forget about that mess.
Because they were the adult, not me at the time.
Exactly.
I am now, and I do owe it to myself to be better. And if becoming better means leaving the past behind, and if your mama, your daddy, your cousins, your aunties are included in that past that you have to leave behind, then that's what you have to do.
For a better life for you.
better life, because you didn't ask to be here. Now I tell you one thing in the same breath, they don't owe you nothing. So if they did that and now you're an adult, you got to find a way to be able to lift yourself up and move on.
Yes, I totally agree.
But you are not tied to any of that. You don't have to be tied to any of that. You can be tired of all of that. And tell them to leave you alone, and you get gone. If y'all not using 2020 right now to take this time to quarantine and to get better and to be by yourself and figure out that the people wasn't adding nothing to your life in the first place, I don't know what you're doing then.
Exactly. And that's the same thing I would say to people who are in a relationship with toxic siblings. Some people say, oh, blood is thicker than water and all this. You're going to need your brothers. You're going to need your sisters. And it's like, if those are the people who are causing you pain and you haven't done anything to them, All you're doing is doing what you need to do, and they keep bringing you down.
All that.
Exactly, and they talking about you. You think you all that, or things always happen, or they'll spread rumors about you. I know people who own sisters and brothers have spread rumors about them.
Thank you, Lord. I've been lied on, but thank you, Lord.
Exactly. So it's like, when you're in situations like that, you don't have to keep going to family reunion, to Christmas, to Thanksgiving, and putting yourself in those toxic environments, especially when you're an adult. Mm-hmm. When you're an adult, you have a choice to say, you know what? I love my sister. I love my brothers. I love my other family members. But if this is what's going to happen every time I come around, if this is what's going to happen.
And if love isn't being
I can't come around.
Reciprocated, it's okay to
Ooh,
stop.
Say that again.
It's okay to stop.
Yes. Exactly. If love is not being reciprocated, it's okay to stop. And that's what a lot of people don't want us to understand. Because if you're always giving and giving and giving, and there's no reciprocity, somebody gonna end up, fainting. Because you need reciprocity coming back to you. Somebody's gonna end up giving out. Because you need that. It has to be.
I'm telling you, once a person that's just there to drain you, once there's nothing left for them to get from you, they moving on to the next.
To the next thing.
To the next thing.
Yeah.
So stop it.
So stop it. Yep. And some of you feel that, if I don't help them, nobody's gonna help them. And like Denise said, if you're not there, they're gonna find somebody to help them. You can't lose your life, risk your life.
And we're hoping one day as they find themselves,
so you can stop. Yeah, you gotta find yourself. You gotta stand on your own 2 feet in this life. So for those of you who are dealing with toxic, stand on your own 2 feet and don't stand and stop laying on your back. That's Denise's word right there. Stop laying on your back, because it's
goodness gracious.
It's like, let people enjoy their life. It's like, I have family members.
Grandma, you done had all these kids.
Exactly.
All these kids.
And I have family members, I keep saying, messing that up, there's a lot of substance abuse. Not a lot, but there's some, and it's been that way since I was a child. At what point do you grow up and say, look, I'm in my 50s, I'm in my 60s, I don't have the same body and organs that I had when I was in my 20s.
And
you can't keep doing that.
If that is going on, and you're gonna keep going back to these family reunions, see, I've been the one that hit the thing, ding, ding, ding. Let's come to the table. Let's have a real discussion.
Yeah.
Let's talk about why everybody in here on drugs. What was the cause?
Yes. What was the cause? And I think that's what
it was. Uncle Henry, when he started. We need to stop hiding stuff and start calling these people out, so Uncle Henry could stop doing what he's doing.
Exactly. And then sometimes that the residue from Uncle Henry can get out of your mind and get out of you, because a lot of us, we're holding on to stuff that people did, and the family doesn't even acknowledge that they did. And it's like they want you to still come around for all these different family events
and do the electric slide and do all of this and
over all the pain
and
the abuse and the scars
and dance to and sing to Before I Let Go. But I'm still holding on to something, so I can't even let go. So the next time y'all play Before I Let Go, let me let go of some things that I've been holding on to about this doggone family right here. How about we do that? At the next family reunion. Exactly. And I agree with everything she said. And it's like, let grandma, let the uncles and the aunts and the people who raise their kids, let them enjoy their life. If you go out there having kids, that's on you.
That's on you. If you can't take care of them, that's on you. There are other agencies in place, but grandma done raised her children. She done raised her grandchildren. Now she raising the great-grandchildren. Grandma never had a life.
Never.
And it's like grandma probably in her 80s, almost 90s, and y'all still trying to kill grandma.
Taking advantage of.
It's like, come on, man.
Still taking advantage of her kind.
And elderly people, they want people around because they're older, so they don't mind. Oh yeah, they could come stay here. You could do this, even though they know it's, the people probably doing something a little wrong, or they're doing, some mess. They just want people around them. But it's like, man, come on, man. Family members, you got to pull yourself up. Not only mine, but others as well. Because there are people, and there are some of you who've written and said, Dawson, I left my church, I left my family members, because if I didn't, I was going to end up in a mental institution, or I was going to end up dead. There are some of you who all have written and saying that to me.
Somebody.
Exactly. Because sometimes people want to see you react till it gets to that point where you're physical and you just going off, because they want to have something to put on Facebook. You don't bother them, you don't say nothing to them, but they know how to pull your, as you talked about, your triggers. And when people know your triggers, they'll know, oh, if this set her off or this set him off, he gonna act out, he gonna fight, then they gonna lose their children, and then they gonna lose their house because they're gonna be in jail. And I can put it all on social media. Y'all pray for my sister. She had a little breakdown. Now her children in foster care, and I want y'all to keep our family fair because now we gotta raise her children because she may not get out. People want you in those traps. Do not fall for their traps. Get up and walk away. I don't care who it is.
Yep.
Who it is.
A title does not give a person the right to.
Exactly. A right to abuse you physically, verbally,
mentally, nothing.
Financially, anything. Seriously, get up out of these relationships if they're in your family. You'll find people who will be like fictive kin along the way. My play mama, my play daddy, my play case.
God give us friends because we couldn't choose our family.
Exactly. So if y'all if you're in any mess like that, I'm serious about this. Get out of it because your life matters. Seriously, and you don't have to stay in abusive relationships in order to appease the entire family. You don't have to do that. So
and Mama used to say, "Don't you rush to get
I like that Mama used to say. Exactly. Until next time, it's your guy Dawson.
And I'm Denise.
Take care of yourself and each other. Peace.